Imagine for a moment you wanted to breed something. You wanted to create a new creation. How do human beings do that? Well, if you want to create something like a puppy, you take dogs or foxes, as experiments have shown, and you have the most tame, the most childlike of the animals, and you breed those. And eventually, if you breed enough foxes with only the tamest, the most likely to come into contact with human beings, being bred, you emerge with what looks like a puppy, with what looks like a domestic dog. As human beings, we understand the ideas of breeding, of favoring certain forms, with allowing them to reproduce, over forms which we do not allow to reproduce. When it comes to antibiotics, we place a lot of value on this. We specifically say you should not allow too much use of antibiotics, where those antibiotics are being used where they are not necessary, because you can create strains of bacteria which are resistant to the antibiotics, which is why with the virus you generally don't get given antibiotics by your doctor, despite them having the placebo effect, which would be to make you feel as though you have something which will make you better, which in fact makes your body fight much better against even a virus. We are also told that one of the major problems we see in the world when it comes to illnesses is that people will take their course of antibiotics until they feel better again and then stop taking it, allowing a certain amount of whatever disease, say tuberculosis, TB, is within them to not die. And that little bit of the virus or of the bacteria within the person would likely be the genetically strongest, the one which is most likely to be able to survive against the antibiotic. And what that specific organism then does is it breeds, and the little mutations emerge with each new generation. But the baseline is one which is more able to survive in an environment with antibiotics. The problem with Covid-19, the greatest problem with it which we seem to experience, is that Covid-19 is extremely contagious and able to spread very well compared with other diseases and viruses. And what do? We lock down. We lock down our societies, and then we open them up again, knowing that the lockdown doesn't entirely stop the spread, doesn't kill the virus. But what the lockdown does do is it creates a situation likely where only the more virulent forms of the virus are more likely to survive. And now places which have locked down with very extreme lockdowns seem to have more powerful versions of the virus. And I think we need to be very careful about creating a breeding ground for a more dangerous COVID-19.